Once upon a time, in a place far, far away, there were two beautiful wanderers, Orpheus and Eurydice. They had long flowing hair, ripped jeans, and they spent their days busking in the streets of Europe, performing music that echoed with the joy of their laughter and the fleeting whispers of their love. But one day, tragedy struck. Eurydice died suddenly and unexpectedly, and Orpheus was left to wander the earth alone, his broken guitar strapped to his back like a cross on his heart, carrying the weight of his grief in every chord. Days turned into weeks, and Orpheus found himself in Prague one rainy evening. As he walked, a sharply dressed stranger appeared out of the mist. Slick black hair pulled back, polished shoes, and a wide, unsettling smile that hinted at danger. "Looking for someone?" the man asked, his voice smooth like oil. And when Orpheus hesitated, the man continued, "If you truly want her back, there's a way. But it's not for the sane." He pointed across the street to a crumbling building. On its gate hung a municipal warning sign, "Danger, structure to be demolished." Inside, the stairwell smelled of decay, the walls cracked and groaning, as if the very building was in agony. Orpheus followed, drawn to the derelict structure like a moth to a flame. Graffiti covered the walls. Love, void, dead. At the bottom, a vast underground chamber opened. Smoke hung thick, flickering fluorescent lights barely illuminating the chaos. In the center, a polished desk, immaculate, untouched by the decay around it. Behind it sat Hades, his black hair slicked back, eyes sharp, and that wide, almost menacing smile. Every movement he made radiated control and malice. Beside him, Persephone toyed with a match, lighting it and letting it die out, her eyes cold and distant. "We heard your music, even down here," Hades said, his voice echoing with power. "Beautiful, full of pain." He slid a scroll across the desk. Orpheus approached, drawn to it like a moth to a flame. On the ancient parchment, "Warranty deed, sale of property, 1313 Ashfield Lane, suburban Chicago." Orpheus froze. It was his childhood home, the house of his parents, every crack, every wall, every memory now part of the deal. Hades leaned forward, his eyes gleaming. "Now you must decide," he said. "Do you choose the house of your childhood, with every memory it holds, or the love of your life?" Orpheus swallowed hard. His chest ached with the unbearable weight of the choice. He signed. The paper slid from his hands like a soul falling into the abyss. Hades chuckled, rubbing his hands together, his eyes glinting with cruel satisfaction. "And the fine print," he said. "The bottom line, you cannot look at her. Not a glance, not a shadow. Not until you leave this building. Until then, she is yours to have, but unseen." In a blink, Orpheus found himself on the stairs, climbing, each step groaning under his weight. He heard her footsteps, the rustle of her dress, smelled the scent of her hair. His heart pounded, the world condensing to that sound, that memory. At the street-level gate, he paused. The air inside him stood still. He turned. For a fleeting instant, he saw her, her eyes full of love, her smile radiant, and then she vanished. Orpheus was frozen, shattered, and bewildered. Around him, the city hummed, loud, alive, indifferent, moving on as if he weren't even there.